so that we are going there, and all the audio looks to be working. So yippee, we're online in that department. So last time we left off, Jacob, yeah, what was the last thing you remember happening? Help me start from where I am, so I don't start too far back on the recap. What was the last thing you remember?
We had just come back through like the circular thing out into the, I believe it was like second floor of tomb, and like come up the back way and then read the inscription there, and then did a little bit of exploring with Fiera into some other areas.
That is right. So, yes, where we left off last time, the party had sent their familiars down one of the many halls spewing off this section, this floor of the tomb itself, to investigate further and get an understanding of their surroundings. You passed by, so far in this sort of central chamber where you left off, there were three different ways to go. There was a passage leading to a tomb that had, like a tomb with a sarcophagus that had a light coming down on the sarcophagus, and a checkered floor, along with like a very sort of circular chamber sort of crossing between the paths, the path leading into that checkered chamber. There was a passage, a sealed iron door with some hole slots in it, some zombies with chains around their padlocks around their necks, or chained bands around their necks, and they could sort of reach through the door. Not sure what that situation was. And then there was another passage to the north that led to a sort of embossed sort of or I think it was stone or brass devil's mouth opening in the floor, with images of falling humans around, and sort of a screaming sound coming from that chamber as well. So you had successfully sort of investigated these multiple chambers around you, and that's sort of where you left off. And what happened last time when we were with our adventurers, you decided to delve into some of these places and truly investigate them. I believe you started with the chamber leading to the north, if I'm correct. I think you did a little bit more investigation in the chamber to the west, the checkered floor and the sarcophagus with the light coming down, and you took the time to sort of investigate this circular passage that was crossing through, and the body as well. That was within it. You collected the book and the staff from it. That was actually before when Jacob last left off, so I believe you guys actually went through said book and staff, and there was actually some information that you came across. There were some items. I believe they did get identified by Alexandria. The staff was one that would turn you into a goat. Over time, it would turn you into an actual goat humanoid. And it also had some other keen powers to it. I believe it was actually a staff of some great physical prowess. I believe Alexandria has those stats for the party if required. But you can always ask me if you need to know what it is. Let me actually get it here just so you know. It's a staff of striking, which any of you can look up in D&D Beyond or something else, on top of the fact that it was cursed to turn you into a goat. There was what seemed to be a ink vial, which was of interest, that Alexandria identified and pocketed without speaking into the party of its details. And then there was an actual book on this individual that had a little bit to say, Delvin's Journal, which I think is worth rereading for Jacob's benefit. To those who find this, know that I, Delvin Bashir, am the last surviving member of the Company of the Yellow Banner. The warlord Rossin C stripped us of our weapons and threw us in here on the orders of his master Acererak. I can only imagine our souls are to be fed to his phylactery. Alas, it seems he is won. Our company was separated after the incident with the four-armed gargoyle. The Tomb Guardians tore Seward to pieces, and with him we lost the Starfallen. Our quest was a failure. Even if we had found the eye, the elf princess was gone. My friends wouldn't have lasted long without their weapons, especially with a doppelganger in our midst, as Seth suspected. Of course I kept my staff. I'm sure Brixton would have found some humor in that. Gentle reader, let a dying man offer you one piece of advice. Acererak is a trickster who desires nothing but your soul. His riddles may help you, but in the end, his final secret always leads to your doom. Tymora save us all. After reading that letter out loud to the party and discovering this is indeed the corpse in the circular hallway was indeed that of a member of the Yellow Banner, Delvin. You then, before diving any further forward, decided to first investigate the passage to the north with the Great Maw, and did a little bit of investigating to find that the darkness within the maw was non-harmful. The screams seemed to be almost illusory. The cracks in the floor, non-dangerous. The floor quite sturdy. You tied up Fira, and to her discomfort, you descended her into the maw, of which she passed through to utter silence, and then to the other side, through the ceiling of a brand new chamber, which I think is worth also describing for the benefit of our friend Jacob. Let me actually get it. It is here. Not this, not this. Here we go. Perfect, and I'll post this in chat, just as a reminder. Okay. 4 torches illuminate stone sphinxes, crouched in the corners of this 15-foot-high room. The torches cast flickering light across hieroglyphs carved into the tiled floor. At the center of the room, a golden-laid funeral barge stands atop a 3-foot-tall stone dais. Resting on the deck of the barge is a small golden sarcophagus, decorated with horned rabbits. A dark shaft opens in the ceiling directly above the barge, the same shaft that Fira is being descended down. A corridor is visible through a set of fangs carved into the southern wall, and the skeleton of a dwarf sprawls on the floor east of the barge, clad in a tattered yellow turban and dusty chainmail, and clutching a bronze shield. After this discovery was made, you pulled Fiera back up. Part of the party descended down to find that there did seem to be some sort of jackal-headed doorway, a creepy, toothed maw showing the light of that chamber making its way through. So there does seem to be another access point into this chamber that you have discovered. Also, when you descended down to the 3rd level, you found that there was some purple mold on the walls that kind of, when you lingered too long, eyes began to form in its crevices and stare at you. It's definitely made the party uncomfortable. You debated destroying it, but decided to just investigate and leave without getting too involved. I believe Valfine also noticed the chamber had a chain linking one side to the other, and both chains were connected to what looked like golems or more of those metal creatures that attacked you before, but they were stagnant, unmoving. During the time that you were descended, there was a discussion had on the higher level between Brolin and Alexandria, who stayed behind, with Victor. Victor decided to pry into the relationship between Brolin and Alexandria, and that was poking a bee's nest. Arguments unfolded, Victor felt awkward, the situation got a little tense before the rest of the party returned, and the situation was quelled for the most part. As if at a perfect timing, our party then decided to investigate the ring intersection between them and the checkered room with the lit sarcophagus. You found Alexandria, and I believe it was Alexandria Wifflespark. You found that by climbing up the curvature of this sort of ringed pathway, that gravity seemed to sort of alter itself. That wherever you stood on the pathway, you felt as though you were level with the ground. You went all the way up to the ceiling, seeing your friends opposite of you, and when you passed the intersection at the top, you came through into what seemed like a brand new tomb. You looked down the halls of either side, and everything seemed to be there just as it was, except for the corpse of Devil, or Denville, I believe. What was his name?
When?
What'd you say?
I think Devlin?
Devlin, sorry. His corpse was not there, and your friends were not there as well. After discovering this sort of neat little feature to this hall, you went back to retrieve the rest of your friends and decided to investigate further in this mere tomb. Upon descending or going further towards that checkered room with the sarcophagus to investigate, you did find that at its entrance into the chamber there was a large stone block, sort of clung to the ceiling above, sort of coming out of the ceiling itself. And you took note of that, but it was 8 feet above the entryway, and the entryway was open to you. I believe the last thing that we did before we stopped is you all just wanted to continue into the checkered room to investigate further, and that is where we are stepping back forward. Now, did I miss anything, guys?
I mean, that sounded pretty exhaustive to me. So
Okay.
we're good.
Then we
Was
got
the checkered chamber? Is
Yes.
that to the east
that is to the east. Yes.
through the ring thing?
Past the ring thing.
Or past the ring thing? Yeah.
The ring pathway intersects the passage from the main stairway and the checkered room.
We talked about how Valfian and Wifflespark cut down a level, right? Just to kind of check the
Yeah,
slime
purple
for
slime
them.
stuff.
The purple slime stuff. Okay, I
Yeah.
heard purple slime, but I wasn't sure if that was like
Oh, yeah.
what we saw down the hole or not.
So I will change our music to the appropriate level of the tomb and move us over to where we left off.
Good idea.
All right. Let's check in with everybody. Roll initiative.
Actually, roll initiative. How was I on there?
You were on there. You were old on there. I'm only missing Alexandria, I believe.
Who is muted?
For the moment. That's okay. We'll start with we'll come back to her. We'll start with who is at the top. Actually, this is you guys rolled in the order that you went from highest to lowest. This is perfect. So Brolin, I've recapped as to where we left off last. I invite you to give us some information of where Brolin is currently sitting in his head, and if you don't want to reveal anything like that, just let me know what you're doing in this moment when we start the session.
Brolin
So one or
is,
the other. It's up to you.
Yeah, no, I know that Brolin's on the verge if somebody calls him not Brolin one more time. He's probably gonna lose it.
Yeah.
Um,
You're fresh off that argument.
Yeah, he's a bit angry. Brolin's he's a very albino dwarf who's very red right now.
Okay, yeah. Full flushed cheeks, looking flustered. Does this cause him to not sort of pay as much attention to the situation around him? Is he lost in thought?
Yeah, he's lost in thought.
He's lost in angry thoughts.
He bumps into Fenrir.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's one of the situations where you're having an argument in your head where you're winning, but you have to like articulate like how you're going to win. No, I like it. I like it. Perfect. So that is what Brolin is up to. Wifflespark.
Wifflespark is trying not to touch things in this room, but at the same time, very
cautious.
much wanting to touch everything in this room.
So a situation of just like reach out like no I shouldn't,
and also is thinking about how Brolin is kind of playing dwarf stereotypes right now. He's angry and muttering, and
yeah, he's definitely behind you, and he is well distracted, and you can hear the muttering, see the flustered look on his face. I think is obvious enough. But yeah, you have another chamber to investigate. Wide-eyed wonder, I think, is always been Wifflespark's approach. I'll describe this chamber again too for you, War, since we come to your turn quickly. I think that's worth a description as well, because I don't think you got a full one. So we're just catching you up a little bit here. This is short but Sweet. The room smells of wine. A checkerboard marble floor, or on a checkerboard marble floor, a gilded coffin sparkles in sunlight streaming down from the chamber's vaulted ceiling, which arches 12 feet overhead. 4 huge stone gargoyle heads, their mouths agape, protrude from the walls. But yeah, what are you up to, War? You could just give me thoughts in your head in the current moment, or an action that you were doing at the beginning of the session.
He'd probably be looking around, and actually wondering. So these are the sarcophagus of the different 9 gods. So trying to see if he could tell which one this is.
Yeah.
By just looking at the outside of the sarcophagus.
You can make a perception check, and I'll come back to it shortly if you'd like.
Okay.
Valfine.
Valfine would be checking down the opposite end of the hall from where we were, because we kind of either unlocked this or whatever it is, and you said looking past this hallway from where we came, nothing looks different.
Nothing looks any different from when you were standing here but moments ago before you stepped over the ring. The passage behind you still holds the same brass rails. It still holds the same dust that you feel as though you saw before on the ground, though that's a little bit harder to define if that's the exact same. I believe you can also see a set of stairs ascending and the great sort of gaping maw of the tomb going down into darkness.
Wait, are we in Mirror World then?
You are.
Okay.
So if she looks down and looks at her hands, is there anything different?
They look to be the same hands that you've seen many a time in your life. They are as familiar to you as you are.
I think she'd start stepping down where we came from, like about 5-10 feet.
Okay, yeah.
And kind of continue to walk that direction, maybe.
Victor has a similar sort of look about him. He checks his hands in a similar fashion to you. He's looking around in like a fascination but a skepticism, same as you, I think. And he does follow where you go in this situation.
Okay. Probably just to the corner here, and then we can come back if we need to. So
I believe Alexandria is still in the background at the moment, but I'll be able to wield her for Kyle in the time being. She, I believe, is probably in a similar. It's a similar situation to Brolin's, but she doesn't show anything like that, and we don't even know if she's actually arguing in her head. I think she's just lost in thought to herself at the moment, though she does seem to be partly looking around as well, ever aware of her surroundings, but at the same time a bit silent, a bit to herself at the moment, while just keeping her back to war. So this frees us up to do with as we will. I've touched on everybody. I will first just address War's thing, and then you guys are open to do with as you will. 24, a crit. Looking at the room from the hallway you're at now, War, the sarcophagus probably being your main focus, and then I believe you can see some of these. Let me look at your actual site here. Yeah, you can see some of the gargoyle figures. Were you saying something?
No.
Yep, the pillars, the checkered floor, the arch ceiling, and even the sarcophagus itself. None of it seems to be giving off any kind of indicator to the 9 gods. It all seems very there's no animal like symbolism. The sarcophagus seems fairly plain, though it has decorations that seem to only follow patterns that seem to be only for decorative purposes. The gargoyles themselves they're gargoyles. Their gargoyle heads of the tomb have a similar design to that. But nothing else seems to indicate the symbols of the 9 gods or their animal avatars.
Oh, the clue that was on this floor said the ring is a path to another tomb. I don't see any markings on here.
Well, we went through the ring to get here.
Right. So we're in another tomb.
Question is this the other tomb, or is all of this the other tomb? Because Alpine is looking in a room that appears to be more rooms, right?
So I gotta ask, what? I mean, are we being led astray? What's going on?
Yeah, your words echo. You are all able to hear each other enough down this way. Valfine, yeah, you step down this way and you see, since Wiffle Sparked asked about that, you with Victor at your back, the more you walk down here, the more things don't look any different.
Okay. And peering around each corner, maybe on the balcony we were standing on before.
Yeah, you can step forward in the next square, just for visual effect. The same. Something to note though. You left this secret door open when you left. It is closed.
Okay. I'm not too surprised by that, I suppose. But
There was also a rope tied to the railing that was used to investigate the room to the north that was left, and it is no longer there.
Recover my rope.
You go back through the ring and recover your rope? Wiffle Spark, are you saying you have to?
I'm gonna remind myself
Remind
when we're
yourself.
back down there to recover that rope.
Okay.
those little gnome legs.
Yeah, the only thing you notice are just like things. There's certain things missing. There's nothing added, and none of those things seem to be related to you guys.
So, you said there's still the same amount of dust and dirt on these floors?
About the same, yeah. On
Did we leave
discernible.
behind footprints on the way down this hallway?
Make a survival check. Meanwhile, what's going on up front? I'll address that 3 first before we address the front of the group. There is you're not sure. There are you don't see any really, and you think you'd probably have to go back through the other way to see if you even actually left footprints in that direction. There's some scuffs on the floor, but you can't really tell if it's like the footprints of you being where you are right now and you and Victor coming down this way, or some people went through the portal without you before. Unsure.
She's probably distracted by something else on her mind. And is Victor still following?
Yeah, he passes you and starts to investigate the obsidian tile. As he approaches it, the words scramble and form. The shape of the Undying comes through the obsidian and speaks the riddle as it did before, and he just sort of steps back from that, and its words echo through, same as they did when you first investigated it, and it goes silent, and the words solidify in a language understandable to you.
Okay.
And they are the same.
All right.
Front crew, what's going on?
Feel like we should check the downstairs one.
I'm not angry. I'm not angry at all. I'm in a great mood, actually.
Yep.
Did you guys come into this room
I'm
in the
this room now.
non-mirror room?
We did
Or-
not.
Okay.
Ed, I'm gonna cast a spell.
Yeah, what spell? Feel free to spend the spell slot and post it in chat.
Spend it.
Brolin's sarcasm has summoned me to the fold.
I heard it and came running.
I have
Okay.
awoken. awoken to sass once more.
I have woken.
Alright, get.
Yeah, let's see the
Goddamn it,
spell,
where is
Brolin.
it? Alright, I'm gonna cast it one more time. I'm gonna find traps.
Yeah, sensing the presence of any trap within range that is within line of sight of you. This includes anything...
I'm looking at that sarcophagus.
Yeah. Anything that would inflict a sudden or unexpected effect that you consider harmful or undesirable, which was specifically intended as such by its creator. Thus, the spell could sense an area affected by the alarm spell, a glyph of warding, or a mechanical pit trap, but it could not reveal the natural weaknesses in the floor, an unstable ceiling, or a hidden sinkhole. Okay, so this spell merely reveals that a trap is present. You do not learn the location.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to reread so I understand everything that it is. Yeah,
There's a trap.
somewhere.
In my so I'm staring at the sarcophagus. By the way.
Are you trying to hone your vision?
Yeah,
To the
yeah.
one
I'm
thing?
staring. Yeah.
Within your line of sight? No.
There's not. So the sarcophagus is not trapped.
Not from what you can see of it, no.
What direction? Oh, it's instantaneous. It's not a.
Yeah, it's just you see instantly everything you see. You can see that there is a trap or there is not a trap, but you don't know where or what.
You're asking
Yeah.
that table.
Yeah.
Yes,
Bro-
or
Brolin-
no.
So
Brolin's
if you
Brolin's
kind
eye
of go like
glow.
this, it's just sort of all the area directly in front
like
of
an
you
echo,
where
like
you're
a
looking.
ping, like a
Yeah.
bat sonar almost.
You do
Yeah.
learn the general nature of the danger posed by the trap you sent.
Also, it doesn't permeate a certain thickness of material, right?
Doesn't say it
Line of
does.
sight.
No.
It's a line of
Yeah.
sight. He has to be able to see.
Yeah.
He has to be
So
able to
just
see
a
the
word of
thing.
caution, those chests that blew up on the inside also probably wouldn't have shown up because the trap is on the inside. So it could be trapped on the inside. Right? We wouldn't
That's
see
feasible.
that trap.
Yeah, if
All right.
I would say the way that I am ruling this trap, if you cannot see said trap or function or some function like of it, some direct function of it, I would say no. So just so you guys understand how this works, when Brolin casts it, a part of it that is like a part of a trap that is pivotal to its function must be within his sight.
I would argue the sarcophagus would be a vital function of a trap, if there was a trap in the sarcophagus.
I would argue no.
Damn.
Because if you are looking at a box per se, even if there was literally let's say there's a dagger in a box, you open the box and the dagger comes out and it hits you. The dagger is the trap. The box is not. It's just a box. You opening it is the effect of the trap functioning. Now, if there was, for instance, a gear on the outside that was visible or some sort of function or a button per se
I think
to tell you,
you're-
that would be part of it.
I think that it makes the spell useless the way you're describing it.
The way I'm describing it makes it.
Because traps in their whole purpose are hidden.
Are hidden. Okay. Do we think that would be more accurate? Do we want to call it as that as a table?
I mean, in your defense, I get into a certain extent, but like
Mhm.
like at that point, there's got to be a middle ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want the table to decide this, not me.
Yeah,
I
because you
feel
don't
like
want
I-
it to be if a box is trapped and by opening the box you get stabbed by the dagger. That
Mhm.
box is the trap. But if it or
I could. I
there's
mean, you can
something on
make
the
the
other
argue
side of
that
the
knife is
door that is going to kill you because you open the door, that's the point.
What do we
But
think, party?
you
or
won't say
table?
something on the other side of a wall because you aren't seeing what causes the trap.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's a good argument. Let's make a vote on it.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, again, this spell doesn't it gives you a general idea, and if it exists, that's literally it. You're
Okay.
not.
Yeah.
There's no
You don't
outline
get the
or anything.
exact location.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You just know
I'd understand if it was like, if it was more like, oh, it's an area effect and it's like concentration.
right.
be
And
like,
the
yeah,
I don't agree with
You
the
don't agree with this?
sweeping radar. It is within sight, within range.
The mechanical pit trap thing, I think, is a parable example because like that would be a floor that isn't necessarily the trap part,
Okay.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be the spikes at the bottom that were the trap. But
See, that's perfect. That totally works. See, I will always look at things in the most scrutinous way possible, and I leave it up to you guys to soften me up where I need to be because I don't want to make this not fun.
Okay.
Then I will stick with what I did before. If we're not gonna do we want them to be able to like hone and just look at an
I
object?
think that's a little much. I think it's within a radius, within line of sight is pretty fair.
Do we want to stick with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I'm
I
fine
think-
with that.
Okay. Then I will stick with what I originally said. Yes, there is a trap within your sight, Brolin.
Okay. Which
And
is
it
the
does.
You
sarcophagus?
don't know.
You do
just
not
know
know.
that
Oh, okay. Well, I just want you to know that I'm staring at the sarcophagus.
That's fine if you are staring directly at
Okay.
the sarcophagus. If we are deciding that you cannot just look at an object and cast this spell and then decide if it is that object, like, are we saying, I just want to confirm, we're saying it doesn't work that way. We're saying it's just
Correct.
for anywhere that you could currently see. Okay.
Yes.
And the way our tokens
That's
work
line
is
of
kind of
sight
a
to me.
360 situation.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so I think that's fine. So it could be anywhere within a 360 vicinity around Brolin within his
Mhm.
line of sight. Which,
Right.
as it is right now, you are in this room and can't see anywhere outside of this room very far, Brolin. So there is a trap
It
in
does-
this room.
It does say you learn the general nature of the danger posed by the trap.
Ah,
So
the
does it-
general nature. Interesting. What is that? That's curious.
So you don't learn the location of each trap, but you do learn the general nature of the
Where's it?
danger
Yeah,
posed
where-
by a trap you set.
Ooh.
That's at
So-
the end of the.
Burn
General
around
nature, I think, would be
out-
like
Yeah.
drop, like
Yeah.
it's a drop.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a stab. It's
Sure.
Explode.
I like it. Perfect.
Ooh,
Brolin?
so I want
Yeah.
to do an RP of this for a second.
Yeah, RP.
So I cast it, and I almost feel like a Serax whispering it in my ear.
I like it. Yeah, you hear the Undying's crackling voice come through your ears. It sends a shiver up your spine, and you hear the words of delight trickle off his dried lips. Drowning.
Brolin's flushness immediately goes away. Level Spark, I think there's a trap in that sarcophagus. Something with drowning.
Wibblespark spins, looks at the rock above the door, and it's like, or you shouldn't stand there.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I got-
right above you is a huge block of stone that's sort of jutting out of the ceiling a good 2 or 3 feet. The ceiling is still 8 feet above you, and from right here to right here, the ceiling kind of lifts up it sort of goes on a slant up to sort of make room for this this stone to hearken down. So if I were to draw it from a side view, just so you understand, because I think we had some difficulty with this before, I'll just do it right on here. From a side view, let me get the paint out here. This is the sort of hall right there. There is a stone coming down like this. That makes sense? War is right here.
Yeah.
Yep, and he's facing out into the checker chamber. So
Does-
back
Does
this
that
way,
look like a?
back this way is the circular hall. This is a side view.
Okay. So does that look like a? It could block off the doorway type of stone.
Absolutely.
Or like. Mm,
There's
No.
no check that needs to be made. It looks as though it's jutting out of the wall. There seems as though, or out of the ceiling. There seems as though it goes into the ceiling, and it definitely could only go one direction, and that is down to seal this room.
So. Sounds like this would seal off the room. I'll
And
say
that
out loud.
Fill it with wine, and you would drowned drunk.
That's like the trap. But what would the trigger be?
Opening the
Probably
sarcophagus.
opening the sarcophagus. Yep.
Breathing.
Well, then y'all are fucked.
Okay, let's look at the warnings. Ring is a path to another tomb. We
Yeah,
have to
Victor
keep
shouts
guarding.
them down the hall.
We're through. We're through to the other tomb now.
Yeah. Then there's
They are exactly the same. And he just yells them all back down.
Do we go back to the other tomb and look at this room? Alright, Wifflespark is
I mean, maybe.
going to walk out of the room and cringe as he walks under the rock to make sure it doesn't fall. And then
Yeah, you sort of look it up and you move quickly past that space. Absolutely.
Get me out of here.
and then I
We ever
go
look north and
this-
south here?
yeah, this is how you get her up and down.
This is
the ring.
the circular.
This is the ring.
Yep. This
Oh,
is a
okay.
circular chamber.
I go the same way I went last time, so back in the same circle.
Okay.
So backwards, so I go down instead of up.
All right. I will remove this mark from you.
Following Wiffles.
Yep. You see the corpse of. If you're coming back the way that you came originally, you would step over the corpse of Darvin. Warrior following as well.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna come back here and look up to see if that rock is there.
It is there. None of your friends are there. Kind of surreal. War and Wifflespark, you two are alone right now in the tomb, as far as you can tell.
And I step to where Alexandria is, but I'm not gonna place my token on top of it, on top of Alexandria.
Okay.
But I'm standing where she is.
Perfect.
And then I look in the room to see if it looks the same. I'll make a perception check as soon as I find my
Look
character.
for
Yeah.
animal markings.
Make an intelligence
Oh,
check,
if-
actually.
If I can.
Yeah, and
Okay.
or you can make a perception check if you're looking for markings.
Just straight intelligence? Or...
Straight intelligence if you're trying to compare and contrast the rooms, or you can use an intelligence-based skill.
I will use investigation.
That works. That would work. War, you see no animal markings.
Exactly the same thing.
You're not sure 100% is exactly the same thing, but there are no markings that stand out to you as anything significant to tell you that this was a Tomb of the Nine. Wifflespark, it looks exactly the same.
Okay.
What's happening in the other tomb?
Nothing
Alexandria,
really.
Brolin, Valfine, and Victor.
Oh, yeah. So I was saying, well, I think there's a trap in there. Something. I think the room might fill up with water or something.
A trap. you
War
say.
is downstairs.
What's going?
What?
War and Wifflespark are not here. They have gone up through the.
His tile block is.
Yeah, but we're in the other tomb.
You have the invisibility mark on you,
Oh.
which I'm using to show that you're in the other tomb.
I
Yeah,
do.
you're
Oh,
stuck here with me.
okay. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, you're alone with Alexandria and Victor and Valfine at the other end of the hall.
Oh boy.
Do you feel me, Brolin?
Yeah, I feel you, boy. Somewhere out there.
Okay.
Why are you talking to yourself?
I just am.
Victor looks to you, Valfine. Shall we return to the others?
Suppose.
I heard War walking this way. I think they ascended to leave this place. I am feeling the same.
Oh, hi, Victor.
Brolin, yes. Oh, he sees you and Alexandria mostly just by yourselves. Says, "Where are War and Wifflespark?"
Oh, they went over. They went into the opposite magical room or whatever.
Where I should be. And he just moves past you.
Yeah, that's.
I also, Whifflesbark has been referring to these tombs as the downstairs tomb and the upstairs tomb.
Okay. Which one are you in
Did
right
we
now?
keep going around the ring to see if there's more?
We could try.
Do we what the
I
ring?
feel like that's also dangerous.
Well, you can try and go the other way. No, we did actually.
We
We
did
tried
try
both
that.
directions.
You know,
Okay.
it brings you to the same place whether you go up on the left or north or south.
Cool.
I'd be curious to see if our knight is back in that golem room.
I am going to cut over here and grab my rope and then come back.
Okay. Yep, you do so without any problem. You have your rope.
Wait a minute.
Okay, so we do know a few of these. We know the ring is path to another tomb. We know what that represents. We know into darkness descend. We know what that means. Have we found any jewels?
No, unless they were in that that room through the mouth. You know what I mean?
I don't
they
think
were
it
in
was.
there.
I think that's the next. I think that's just another way down to the next chamber.
Well, we looked into the zombie room too, and I'm not sure if there was anything in there or not, because we kind of looked in and it was too dark, like the zombies were chained up,
Yeah.
and that there was just a skull in there, I think.
Oh wait. Wasn't there something in the golem room that we found? That was jewelish.
We found
A lantern.
the fairy in the lantern. Is all I can describe it as. That's what we found in there. Yeah, elf fairy
A
thing.
moon
I thought
elf.
somebody picked up something.
I picked up. What did I pick up? I grabbed a tankard. That was all else that was in there. The
I don't.
sad face tankard when it empties.
Yeah.
Was the bag on the guy not magical?
Oh, the bag was a bag of holding. Brolin has it.
Yes. Wait, no, I thought Fenrir had the bag of holding.
Yeah, you put it in
Oh.
Fenrir.
Oh, did we? Oh, then,
Yeah,
well,
he's
that's my-
he's a bottomless compartment now.
Mm-hmm. So remember,
Yeah.
it's in this version of him.
The bubble of infinite.
Well, unless he gets disintegrated, this version
Then?
is pretty invincible.
Who knows?
Because I can recover him as long as there's something with just a single spell slot.
Would he have everything on him that he had before?
Yeah, I just cast a thing and he reanimates and rebuilds if he was destroyed.
So if you put a sandwich in him and he was destroyed and you rebuild him, the sandwich would still be there?
Well, he wasn't.
fall out, wouldn't it?
It would fall out if he was completely destroyed.
Okay.
It's not. He is not the bag of holding. He is just
Yeah.
a thing that bag of holding is.
Yeah,
attached
he
to.
can come back. I'm just wondering if he falls into a pit you can't get him out of kind of thing, and he has a sandwich.
Oh yes, in
You
that
lose
case,
that sandwich.
We lose that sandwich.
Okay,
Yes.
I see. Understood.
I
I
like
was
this
like-
metaphor. It's
like,
making me
damn.
hungry.
But
I don't
if
want to
he
lose a
gets
sandwich.
destroyed by dwarves, that sandwich is still there.
Oh yeah. If he's in a pit, the sandwich is still there.
For a few weeks.
Until it goes moldy.
And then it becomes a mold sandwich.
And it's penicillin.
But
Yeah, what's our separated party doing?
So, Valfine, how are you?
You having some trouble, Roland?
I'm fine. I'm great. How are you?
Inside check.
What'd you roll?
Do you have to roll?
13.
Yeah, he's a hot mess.
DC was 8, wasn't it?
No, the DC was 4.
Out of character. Did something happen to Brolin while I was gone?
No. He's just fuming about your guys' argument still.
Oh shit, I don't even remember. Alright.
I think it's fitting that's moved on, yeah. Well, so Victor just walked away from me, right? Did he
Yeah.
walk the ring?
Yep, he left the ring. He
it's just-
after his awkward encounter with Brolin and Alexandria and him mucking that up very terribly, he decided to just avoid being anywhere near alone with those two, and he returned to Warren Whifflespark.
We should join the others. We should go back around the ring and see what they're doing. I don't like
Yeah.
being split this much. So she
That-
kind of like,
I had assumed they would be returning once they finished looking at things, but if we're vacating this place, then that would be wise.
I'm sure they'll come back, but not fast enough for me not to be paranoid about it.
Which way do we go again?
Either way works. They both go.
All right, let's go.
Okay. If you are all sending, we can remove the you can remove the marks on your tokens. You have invisibility marks. You can just turn those off.
Oh, there you are, War.
There we go.
I can help you out a lot with that. Beep, 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 and they're gone. All right, yeah. The other side, you see your compatriots return shortly.
So what's going on in that room?
Now there's the trap. Something to do with drowning.
It's like
Is that
as
why?
stones that come down in the room, probably while it fills up with wine.
Is that why it
Uh,
smells like wine?
Wait, couldn't the bag of holding hold all of it?
No.
Damn.
That's a lot for a bag of holding to hold. Try to plug the leak with the bag of holding, ruin everything inside of it. So how are we going to try going through that room, or are we going to try to figure out how the trap works, or
Ultimately, this would be another artifact to be going after. And we
I
don't know which one.
I don't feel particularly good about inciting the dangers, especially since we know they are present. I suggest we leave the room alone unless we know a way to disable the flooding.
that's good. We have a couple of the rooms to check out anyway, so we could just turn around and see what our zombie friends are up to.
What did you guys find in the face thing?
Oh,
Drop
it's
down?
another way down to the next floor, directly into a tomb, though.
Yeah.
The screen.
like- Mm-hmm.
You guys figure out or open that sarcophagus?
Well, no, we didn't. We didn't want to touch that room really. It looked the way it was set up. Brolin did his find trap spell in there too, and that room was also trapped. So we didn't. We kind of repelled Fira down, used her as like a periscope.
It's a great effect.
Alexandria, yeah, it was awesome. But she checked that out. Like once you get past the screaming and like the chute, it stops, and it just seems to be like an entry to that room from above. So it didn't look like it was.
Like the trap might be getting into that room direction.
It could be because
the clue says about
descend into darkness. Yeah, because if
Yeah.
you look at the way, because Whifflespark and Valfine kind of duck down to the next floor too to read the tablet real quick, and that hallway that goes to that room where that room would be is covered in that pink sludge garbage. So I'm sure
okay.
if you touch that, you turn to goo or something not fun. So
that was primary.
yeah, so that was definitely like the entrance to the room, but we didn't go poking stuff because it
Okay.
was like someone would have been hung from a rope, and then if you lost the rope, you're on the floor, and no way to
Yep.
get you out. So,
Could investigate that room.
Yeah, because there's that one, and then if you go to the south on our current level, there are a couple doors with like holes in them. You can see through, and there's like a bunch of zombies in there that are chained up.
Right. Like
There's
bars.
Yeah, there's like stuff in there. They can like reach out through the thing, so we probably want to try to dispatch them before we go in there, maybe, and unleash whatever it is. So,
You might want to pull your mic
The
back just a little
horror-
bit, Jacob, because your meter is hitting it, so you're cutting off the end of your
Oh.
words.
okay.
So it does say that light. Well,
You cut off.
cut off completely.
Yeah, the threshold.
You start talking and your threshold hits, and we can't hear you anymore. I
Hmm.
don't know if you want to pull your mic back a little bit. That might be what's
Yeah.
doing it.
No, check the automatic voice activity there. It might be clipping you.
Or just turn the automatic off.
We get all of your sentence except the last
I-
words that
yeah.
are most important. So
So I had the automatic off because we've had issues with me and Rachel in the same room picking each other up type thing. So
Okay, cool.
I just turned it on. It should hopefully be
There we go.
okay now.
that's pretty good now. But did we? Can I recall? Was there anything else notable about that room? That because I know it was dark and I was using my dark vision. Was there was light beaming in on something?
Are you talking about the room down below in the you're talking about the when you and Wifflespark descended? There was light coming from the end of the hall. What looked to be like I believe you saw a jackal face at the end of the hall, and it was a toothed maw, and there was light coming from the maw. You guys didn't, I don't believe you fully went to like look through it. I think you stayed back.
Because I had the sphinxes in it, right? The sphinxes in that room.
You were assuming that is a passageway into the same room that you descended Fiera to from above. Yes.
So there's some symbolism in there too. It had a couple like glyphs on the floor and stuff. So we didn't go poking any glyphs.
Yeah.
If that's what you're wondering.
No, yeah, you guys did not advance in any of those areas.
Yeah. So that's really most of what we did while you were gone was kind of hunt around and see what we're gonna do for our next move without triggering anything.
Yeah, I was just wondering because that one, like, I might be better suited to be the one to go down and do that, but
So like we let you in there off a rope.
potentially.
The
Yeah.
maw is big enough I talk about the maw that you descended Fiera through. It's big enough for War to go in, yeah, if you wanted to.
Okay.
If you guys had
Just don't
enough strength to lure him down.
I was gonna say we don't want him stuck in a laundry chute situation, and we don't also want to like drop him on top of the sarcophagus either. So
Double up the rope.
Well, like I have a one-time use get
Brolin?
out
Yeah.
card, so
well, Brolin's got the giant's belt thing, so he should be
Yeah.
fine holding you up.
and
I
have,
mean,
like,
let's hope.
a emergency use thing that I can do there. So
In the end, I mean, he's a good counterweight. He'll just catch the end of the mouth at the top. So,
Watch me roll a nat 1 on that strength check.
oh, let's not get ahead of ourselves and start cursing the dice already.
Well, that'd be one way to poke the trap and drop a turtle on top of the sarcophagus.
Okay, I don't see anything in the chat logs for that gem. I know someone picked up a gem. I just can't remember who had it. That was something.
I seem to remember something like that too, but I only have the
War, maybe?
tankard that's very sad. So.
Wifflespark, make an intelligence history check for me.
He's giving it to you right now if you can
Just-
do it.
Just make it like you are not your character. Make a check.
Yeah.
Well, oh, 13?
Yeah.
You don't. You tip your tongue. You know, you feel like maybe, but you could
Feel
be
like it's
thinking.
war.
You could be thinking. Yeah, you're
I
not
don't
sure.
have anything in my inventory. I don't think.
Somebody must have one.
Like I remember it. It's either from the Gollum room or the office. I can't remember
Did
where.
you? Did we check the bag of holding? Is
Was
it in
it-
the bag of holding?
No, ink came out of the bag of holding in a book.
Ink in, that's right. Yep, ink in a book.
And I don't have it on my inventory.
We may have left it behind because it looked benign or something. Also, so
I remember it was magic item though. I thought. Because we,
Do you?
I think, maybe not.
Okay.
I just remember a gem.
Whiffle
On this
Sparks.
floor.
Whiffle Sparks in the same situation as you. He's
He's over there going, ah!
Maybe not. Maybe not. I can't remember.
I've been looking through the chat logs, and it was not in the.
He's
Solid
going.
road.
He's going through his book of how he writes down everybody's stuff and like trying to. Somebody,
Was this the
somewhere.
last?
I don't know. I
Was
think
this
that's.
the last tomb I delved?
I think it's on brand. I like it.
It is on brand.
It's just
It's
it's
madness.
driving me crazy because one of the warnings is a jewel that contained the frog.
Right.
Jewel that can. Oh, yeah. Okay. I remember actually finding a jewel. I remember that there was in the writing that there was something about one, but I don't believe we stumbled across one.
Did we not find it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It might have been the journal.
Because you remember that was the floor down too. We haven't done any of the other rooms on that floor, so
We did have a cursed necklace of fireballs.
that is
Yeah.
true. We found out. Don't wear it.
Yep.
God, I love that item.
See, that's what you do: is you sneak up or you throw it on someone when they don't notice you, and then.
That's
Oh,
like
wait, you
you
have to
pull
attune
out
to
when
it,
you
don't you?
slide a hand grenade into somebody's pocket.
Yeah, and they blow into like 4 different pieces.
Okay, I don't know. Anyways, I guess I'm gonna. Do we want to look at this room at all, or we want to look at one of the other rooms? We have basically one other room on this floor.
Well, I like doubling back to see what's with the zombies because we know we're gonna drop war through the other one. I feel like maybe we should check out what's going on in the southern chamber down there.
Alright. And Whipplespark and 44 heading towards the zombies.
Okay, yeah, to the southern
Yes.
door that you guys have been sort of
Yep.
passing by very carefully.
Quietly. Not super quietly, apparently, but quietly.
Okay, yeah, as quiet as you can be in that situation, moving your way towards the door. As I described before, it is a full iron sheet door, has these sort of holes coming through it, and you can sort of hear the dull moan of the undead on the other side. Their chains just sort of very, very softly sort of clinking as they sort of drift where they stand.
My light radius is being weird.
Let's take a look at your light radius. Are you currently wielding your light?
Probably he can't see in the dark.
Yeah.
Okay. That's 40 and 80, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
While we're doing this, could I perform a ritual to bring my familiar back?
You may.
Sweet. Thank you.
I forgot
Kind of need
poofed
that.
her.
Yeah, we drowned her.
What? How'd that?
So-
So you know those gargoyle faces in the wine room? Their mouths are filled with wine. And I was like, I'm gonna find out where that goes. And it
Oh.
didn't go well.
Right. Okay. I do remember that now, actually. So it was the gargoyle mouse would pour out the wine in that room.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that was
right.
actually an addendum I had to make. Those are supposed to be sealed.
Oh, graded, right?
Those are supposed to be
Oh,
sealed,
they're supposed
but
to be
Oh
sealed.
yeah,
I...
Piero was fine because we had her last
Yeah,
one.
so
We
you
couldn't
actually
fix that.
wouldn't have lost Fiera, Alexandra. You won't have to spend that time. You would technically have her, but I do believe last time we decided that we would just go through with it. In either case, if you have to do a ritual, it's something that happens in the background of this situation. You can easily have her back one way or another. They were supposed to be sealed. You guys already kind of got the information from behind it, so we just sort of let it go.
Right.
That one wasn't sealed.
Is there any door handles on this door, or any way to open this door?
Not from what you can see, but looking at the door, just the way it's sort of built, you think it probably can be lifted, like it would go up into the ceiling. Though it looks like a big old iron sheet of metal.
Be careful about standing in front of that.
Oh yeah, I know.
They will smell you.
The minute anyone approaches who isn't trying to be sneaky about it, and even if you are, after a short while of being there, your scent is not something you can quite cover up without the use of magic. So they will notice your presence, and their arms will sort of very slowly, lazily make their way through. You can see that even though they're undead and their flesh is falling off the bone, there is like a level of like weakness to them almost. But they, when the smell of food is nearby, they seem these are hungry undead. They're ravenous. They're starved. They just they're reaching as far as they can. They just can't get that delicious gnome.
I really wish we had a paladin or a cleric right now.
Yeah,
I'm
just
just gonna hear about this. This is animal abuse.
Because if we had a paladin or a cleric, we could turn them, and I think they lift the door.
Yeah, like there's. So it says that the dead abhor sunlight is the clue for that one, right?
Does anyone
Probably.
have a mirror in their inventory?
Right.
I do. As part
Does
of
anyone else
my-
have a mirror in the inventory?
Oh,
I realized I needed to.
oh. Did you just invalidate my mirror?
No. Your mirror is a very important mirror. I just need 2.
I don't think I have a mirror, but I could certainly. Yeah, I'll look.
Just to note, Alexander, you are chilling back there during this, yes? And so I'll make sure your token reflects where you are.
Oh, well. That's actually fair. I was thinking she would be there because of the ritual, but
I mean, that works. I just wanted to make sure you were there.
yeah. No, I will keep up,
Okay.
buddy.
Roland or Ward, do either of you have a mirror?
I think so, unless a climber's kit includes one, and I doubt it.
Well, don't you have? Do you have anything like that in your Tinkerer's tools?
I'll check what's in Tinkerer's tools.
Because I know Thieves' Tools comes with a mirror so that you can.
Oh.
You know.
Then I have a mirror too. Okay.
So you can just take.
Oh well, I
Borrow
need
my mirror?
2 people. Because one of us is gonna go by that coffin where there's a bunch of sunlight, and one of us is gonna be by the door, and we're gonna try and reflect light on this door to scare away the zombies.
So the sunlight is coming from where?
The room that we were in with the wine has sunlight coming down in it.
Yes, it has a beam of very, very bright light coming from the ceiling that is illuminating the center of the room.
And how are you'll have to stand at the end of the hall and catch that and redirect it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
2 mirrors would be the situation you'd want for that. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's what I was saying. We're gonna do a 2 mirror situation and try and one of us go in the coffin room. I'll do that. And
I can do that too. I mean, I just would like to scan that room before we go poking anything. So
No mirror for me, though.
Yeah,
I do have the gem that you are remembering.
oh, you do?
we
Sweet.
found it. We knew it was there the whole time.
Did you
Okay,
identify
so-
that gem?
Yeah, it's a control gem. For
Right.
for a gray slot.
Oh,
Right. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
so a frog.
Yeah.
All right, good. Problem
Dude,
solved. Check that one off
Did
the
you
list.
guys did you hear me earlier? When you were like wondering who had the gem, I was like, yes.
No, we didn't.
Possibly have it. Oh, that explains why nobody acted on that. Alright, that's fair.
Alex, poor Wiffle Spark / Alex. Just I can't remember.
Panic attack. Can't remember.
He's like digging through his dog's rucksack, and I'm sitting here holding it in my hand like the skull from Macbeth or whatever. It's like,
I don't understand, Morty.
But yeah, so because I was walking around in the upper room without any problems.
Okay, Wiffle Spark, are you?
I'll go do the coffin one.
How about
So,
check the room?
so there
before
was
you
2
step-
mirrors. Where did we get? I know Valfine had one. Where was the other one?
They're from the thieves' tools.
Oh, you have a mirror from your
He
thieves
also
tools
has-
as well.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, yeah.
All right, I look into the room and check for traps at
Not while standing
distance.
under the thing.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
while
sure.
standing under the thing.
Make a perception check if anything's like changed or become visible. I think that's worthwhile. No, looks just the same as you've
Okay.
seen it here and in the other tomb.
Then I step through, mildly
Yeah,
cringing while I
yep,
fall into
yeah,
the
you
rock.
Yeah, no, that it's
All right,
you're still
and then
alive.
I stand on 44 here so I can get up in there, and I aim a beam down the hallway at Valfine with my mirror.
Yeah, you stand under the light. It's quite bright. You get your mirror, which is like it's like the size of like a bicycle mirror kind of situation, and you get the beam to go down the hall. And luckily, it's quite bright, so all of you would see in the darkness. Though your light would make it a little bit harder to see, but the beam does make its way down towards you, Valfine, and starts shining in your face.
Could have warned me first.
Yeah, you see the flash.
Or we'll like shade the zombie area so that Valkyrie can see what she's doing.
Yeah, sort of
From the
put it
axe,
behind,
yeah.
darken the area a little bit. Yeah, the beam is much more visible. It's right in Valfine's face. It's
So,
white light.
Yep. So,
Valfine, you probably want to aim at the door?
yeah, I think so. I'll step back one,
Okay,
and I'll mage hand the mirror
all
in
right.
front of the beam, and then turn it toward the door.
Yeah, you turn towards the door. You can see these sort of arms making their way through these different sockets in the door, and there's 6 arms in total, 3 sets. And go ahead and make just make a dexterity like attack roll, like an aiming roll, effectively, like you would with your weapon. You could just roll your weapon here.
That's bad news. You know that's bad news.
Well, I just want to see how you aim here.
All right.
Yeah. You sort of just drag it across. We see the light, and as it sort of touches each arm, you can just hear sort of a hissing and a steam comes off of the flesh, and they immediately start to like move. With each one was sort of a slow, very laziness to it. Now immediately like twitches to the feeling of pain as the light hits it, and as each one hits, even one of its arms, both of its arms retract, and you hear the chain begin to rattle on the other side of the door as the creature seems to move away from the door itself. And you hear the chains go taut one at a time as you draw that sort of slow line of light across, and a similar effect happens to the other sets of arms. You go across all of them, Valfine?
Yeah, touching each set hanging out there.
The second chain goes... Oh, was you going to say something?
No, I was just reacting. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, you're good. The what was your reaction? No, I wanna know.
Oh shit.
Oh shit, okay. Yeah, the second chain goes taut as the other one clambers away and runs. And you see the door where you're standing, War and Brolin and Alexandria close, it goes... It like shifts just a little bit, and sort of some dust kicks up from under the metal. When you finally get to the third one, it runs away, and you hear that chain taut. The door start to rise up as those chains all sort of echo out, making sound as they are pulled fully taut, and the zombies on the other end are trying to get away from the light that still is poking through the holes of the door, and it lifts.
So I'll keep the light pointed there until the door completely opens.
Yep. You continue there, and the door completely opens. It is visible from here, Valfine and War, as you peek around the corner. The chains are taut from the ceiling. They seem to be pulling up on the top of this door in some form of mechanism, and the chains go taut into the darkness. But within, as you pull your axe out, I imagine for light, you can see that all 3 of them seem to be moved as far away from the door as they can possibly get, and they're just trying to get further away, and unable to get much further. I'll actually make their tokens visible.
It's a good thing we had mirrors.
Should I come in here?
The door is open.
There's
I
a
would make
large
comments,
room.
but I am way too far away to talk to War.
You want some backup there, War?
Would be appreciated.
I'm gonna keep an eye on the two of them, just making sure that the light stays.
I'm gonna say, Valfine. Well, I guess you're doing it with Mage Hand, so
Yeah. She's
you
holding
can
it.
angle it a lot,
Yeah.
depending on where you need it to be. Okay.
We can
cool.
also put it out into the room 30 feet.
Right.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah. If I
Yeah,
need
I was
to
thinking like
it like straight in, I can do that.
Yeah,
it
you
goes
can.
up.
You can aim it and even move yourself to get a better view.
even from where she's at now, she could put the mirror there and have a straight shot backwards.
Yeah. So
Is
why
there
not?
a way to prop this mirror on the sarcophagus so it will shine down the hallway?
There's nothing on the sarcophagus itself that would be able to prop it up. If the mirror itself, if you're imagining it has some sort of prop on it, I'm fine with that. Or if you have something else you want to put under it, you can. But the sarcophagus itself is flat on the top.
You don't have
Okay.
any putty or anything?
I
No, no 3M command strips or what's going on here?
Like a couple pittons.
Yeah.
I do have pittons, but
Pin would work.
You don't want to disturb that sarcophagus by
Yeah, I don't
puncturing
wanna-
it, though, do you?
I'm not a
Well,
punch on
nothing,
the
like on
sarcophagus.
their side.
Oh, okay, okay.
You just stack them.
I will use the shovel. That seems like a good prop.
Yeah, you can finagle the shovel to get it to prop up. It takes a little bit of time. It's kind of that like House of Cards situation of getting it to like because the shovel weighs so much and the mirror doesn't. But you get it to work.
You could have Fenrir hold it.
Fenrir could hold it.
Could. Yeah. I have him hold it so I can. No, actually, I want him with me. I'm gonna use things to make it work. Actually, real quick.
Well, he's
He's a
fiddling-
tinkerer. He could build something, probably.
This is true. This is true. Bubble gum and sticks. I'm gonna step just to the foot of these stairs here, and then move the mage hand out over the pit to this right here.
Okay,
10 feet away from me, and
Yeah,
then
that works.
angle the mirror to point the light straight in through the door.
Okay. I think that works. Let me just.
Gotta mark where it is, like.
Yeah, I want to mark where the
Okay.
hand is. I'm typing in hand. Mage hand? All one word, maybe? I used to have a hand. Come on.
Okay, I'm using the hinge pin from the skull trap.
Okay, that works. Oh, here.
So it did come in handy.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
Yeah,
more like
okay.
a giant pipe.
There's
but-
our hand. Yeah, and you can concentrate. Do you have to concentrate on Mage Hand, Valfine? No?
No.
Perfect.
It is duration 1 minute.
Okay.
One action.
So
I
it will
can-
only last a minute. Keep
That's
that
true.
in mind. That's a very short amount of time.
Don't
and
drop the mirror.
Yeah, no, can't drop that.
Alright.
Do I see anything different from my angle pointing it? Because I know it's pretty far away. but-
Your light is like a beamed flashlight. I mean, War's light would cause more for you guys to see sort of what's within. And I've described this one before, but I'll remind it to you again. It's been a while since I've described this chamber. Let me see. What is visible? Okay. So, you see within this tomb, at its center, stands an ancient chariot bearing a bronze sarcophagus with treasure strewn atop it. Paintings on the chariot's body show a tall bird with a long, sharp beak. On the south wall, a bronze shield bears the embossed image of a Chultan warrior carrying a spear. Below, some kind of inscription that you can't read quite from here. There are 4 bronze statues standing on pedestals to either side of that shield on the south wall. They depict Chultan warriors, and from this angle, y'all would be able to see all 4. One is holding a sword, 2 with spears, and 1 is missing its face.
Once I do that, I will step back to where I was.
Okay.
And
I will make it. I will make. I don't want to like start an initiative count because a minute is only 10 rounds. So this sucker's not going to sustain very long. Is there a more permanent way for you to set up this mirror? Because I will say a minute's going to pass by like that and be very hard for me to manage outside of a
That's what
round.
I'm saying. I'm going to pluck it out of the air
Okay.
with my hand and then step back to where I was and dispel it.
Okay. You're still holding the beam?
Yep. I'll just I'll bring the thing
Okay.
over to me, keeping it fixed, and then just seamlessly in my hand.
Perfect.
Now that I'm back here, I hand Laura a pin and a hammer, and go. We should lock this door open.
Yeah, you guys want to
And then have a
attempt
second pin in my hand.
What, grab a chain and do it, or like
Oh,
to the
I was just-
side of the door?
I was just saying, side of the door, make door stops.
Okay.
Yeah. As long
Spend
as
a little
Valve,
bit of time.
yeah, as long as Valfine's
Yeah.
there to have that beam make its way by, you'll notice if you are working right there, take about 10
Mhm.
minutes, the same time like a ritual would. You get a little bit to get inside of that stone and chisel away and actually get those pitons in. Every moment that like Valfine can't quite get the beam inside, one of the zombies turns around just for a moment and starts clamoring back that direction towards you before the beam shines again, and it moves back, and the door just sort of like loses some of its weight. There's probably a moment of just like a little to the left, a little to back, bring the beam back this way.
I just thought of it. I don't know if that. We could just kill them all.
Yeah, they're as long as that beam is sort of being flashed, they are for the most part staying at the end of their chains. Only once in a while, one might straggle away.
I mean, that got the door open. That was the
Yeah.
main.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can affix
here.
those chains to something else or whatever.
Right.
And you can get the door successfully nailed
Locked
up
open.
there. I just wanted
Okay.
you guys to know that these are, once this beam is gone, these zombies are gonna go for their meal.
Right.
Like
Right.
Yeah.
Also, people of the room, let's not step on everything before we check it.
Oh yeah, I wasn't. I was saying kill them from here.
Oh yes, yeah. Okay. I just wanted to clarify. Let's not step in any sphere of annihilation or something.
Those are pretty.
Hey, not everything is a sphere of annihilation.
You don't know that down here.
I think we already passed the sphere of annihilation.
I just walked up the wall and came down and didn't see my friends, so
Okay, when did we see a sphere of annihilation?
It was
We
the
did-
maw at the very beginning, literally the first hallway.
Oh god.
I believe I
Oh,
answered.
you're right.
your
Yeah,
in
you're
there.
right.
See if you saw anything.
Yeah, somebody threw a stone inside, if I remember, and it was just
And it just-
it was just gone.
just gone. Like, okay, that could be my face. I don't think so.
Okay, so we just have to. Once we get that all locked up,
Yeah, you get that all locked up. What?
Go.
should we kill the zombies there, or should we just see if we can kill them there as a precaution? If they're still attached to chains, they're still dead weight.
Yeah, Valfine's gonna be holding the mirror until told not to. So
Dead weight. Really?
Yeah, I went there.
I mean,
Dead weight.
looking in there, they're maybe not the weight. Or are we not supposed to be in there for long?
I don't know. They're when you look inside, they're just sort of like huddled as close as they can get to the sarcophagus. Their chains is taut, and they're just sort of like crawling over each other in a pile, trying to get away from the light that keeps shining its way in here.
So the sarcophagus looks like it's on a wagon,
Like a chariot, yeah.
chariot. That's weird. Should we like go in and grab it and go type of a thing?
just don't stand in the doorway so you don't get shoved over the thing if it starts rolling toward you.
Right.
Suddenly it's a bumper cars situation.
And then what was all the way at the back in the center?
I'll post it in the chat.
I think it's
So
alright in the
you'll-
chat.
You'll know.
I think it's the first thing in the chat from today. You just roll up till roll 20.
And this chamber? Did I actually post it?
No, the torches.
No,
and the
this
sticks are the
Oh,
other
that's
way.
the other one.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
the other one that you dropped down on.
Yeah. Just a sec. I have to edit it just a little bit.
They didn't give you a player red one?
You guys can't see certain things.
Okay.
Mhm.
This is a player red one, but as far as vision is concerned,
I
think
do see
it's
the vats
still-
in the corner.
Okay, fine. That works. You see, it's a glass cauldron. It seems to be brimming with humanoid bones.
This would be Papa Zottles?
It's the
Tall
beak.
bird? That's the
Yeah.
Eblis thing, right?
Mhm.
Oh, that's the bronze shield.
The shield has a Cholton warrior on it. I mean,
And is the missing face like it is knocked off or purposely missing?
It
Can we
looks
tell
as
from here?
though it's like yeah, like damage.
Okay.
I love the silence.
it's
Uh,
the gears are turning.
I'm letting them
Yeah,
turn.
I'm reading because so
This
there's
might be the bowing one.
right.
I
Bows
activate
with
when
the
you
gun
guys activate
tone.
me.
I think it'd be funnier if you could pause your camera too.
That would be great. Just like I don't work.
So it says bow is the dead god intoned, which is it says bow before no one, which means either bowing literally before not a statue or something.
Yeah, because last time we got hit by that, right? You had to like blindfold yourself or something, or blindfold each of the statues before. Yeah.
Is
Something like that.
this the dead god maybe? Because this is the dead.
Ye-
Most of them are
right,
being
right.
in the sarcophagus.
I would back that up.
So I would either bow like at the shield itself, or
To the sarcophagus.
the one that's missing a face, or to the sarcophagus. It could be any of those three things.
Yeah, about a no one. Yeah.
But so how do we want to handle the zombie situation? We should get that figured out first.
We can just. I can try and pick them off from here, or. Alexandria can also try and pick them off from here.
I certainly have the ability.
Chuck some javelins at him.
And Brolin can go hold a mirror.
All right. I guess I could do that, or I could do. I feel like I could almost turn into a badger or something, and sneak by something.
Well,
Crawling bef-
at the moment it's more of a we want to kill these things at range.
Oh, why didn't you say so? I could just throw a fireball down there.
Alexandria, you
Use this necklace.
No.
No,
No,
take
no.
us all out.
And this is how they party wiped.
I wonder how many parties wipe like that in this dungeon.
Let me see. What can Alexandria see? Never mind. Take it back. I was gonna say something, but I'm not.
I see everything.
So, Victor, nice weather today, huh?
Yes, have you all figured out what you will be doing with those zombies or that tomb? I have heard your discussion. I cannot depict anything from the riddles outside of what you have come up with. My mind is not what it used to be. What are we doing?
So I'll take the one on the left, take the one on the right, and then figure out the third one as we go.
Yeah, are we attacking the zombies? Have we made that decision?
Because we already pinned the door.
Right.
Yeah, you guys tell me you do a thing and you do a thing. Right now, so far, it's been, do we?
What do you think, Alexandria?
Well, I don't want to be that person, but pretty sure Serac would have. Wait, not Serac, right?
Yeah,
What-
Serac.
Is it?
Yeah,
Who's the other guy I'm thinking of?
Ross and C,
Ross and C. Okay.
which is
Well-
spelled way different than we expected.
Yeah. I really don't think the prop door is going to be enough. I think the minute these things aren't keeping it up anymore, it's just going to drop, despite us pinning it.
Yeah,
So
I'm just trying to figure out how
We
to.
can experiment with that and let the beam go for a minute.
Oh yeah, we can.
That's true. Let's test it right now before we do anything else.
So,
Point the
Delphine,
beam.
can you not point the beam at us for a sec? We're testing things.
Yeah, you cover the beam, and it takes a few moments before blinks a little bit, and they all just sort of look and they immediately start to ravage their way over. And as they make their way over, the chains go loose, and the door shifts slightly but holds. Roll initiative.
Nice.
Hey,
Well, that worked.
Beam?
beam!
Oh, I rolled 11.
Should have
The
ready
beam's
to
not
act.
coming back for a while. I should have held it, yeah. I didn't have all the information either.
Do
so-
we no Victor for this? I'm guessing. We're just
Nah, it's
missing
3 zombies.
We're just missing Brolin.
Not for zombies.
All right, all right.
Little do we know these are mega super lich zombies.
Super lich zombies.
Not mega lich super zombies.
No.
All right, Whifflespark, your first act. As they start making their way over, hungry. They're clamoring in your direction.
Guess I shoot the one who is farthest back.
There are two furthest back. Whichever one you want to go for. Left or
I'll
right.
go with the one that doesn't have one in the way.
All right, fire
this
away.
one. That's what-
Oh yeah, that hits. Absolutely. 11. Yeah, you bloody it with that strike.
And I shoot it again. Always double tap.
Okay,
The 13 hit?
it hits. Okay, see how we do here. No, he dies. Alright, yeah. Its head blasts off, the pieces go flying. This starving corpse will starve no more, for it is nothing more than a corpse. Alright, that is your action, Whifflespark. You still have a bonus in movement.
I
I
want to move back.
am going to. Oh, I'm gonna move out of War's way.
Okay. Yep, that is 15 feet of movement. You can be right there.
And then
Victor goes.
I will send. Yeah, no, I'm good.
All
And
right.
then Alexandria can go, I guess.
Yeah, Alexander, it's your turn.
Well, here's hoping that Firebolt will put them down. So I'm going to target the one directly in front of me.
Okay.
And... Oh, that's Fireball.
That hits.
They
Excellent.
seem to be regular zombies. They're
Right?
bad for regular zombies.
Yeah, you blasted the head out. Ooh, 17. Yeah, you bloodied him with that strike. He is mostly like flame riddled over his boiling flesh at this point.
Nice. It's a good thing I get more than one. So.
What?
Gonna hit.
Wait, you get more than one?
Doesn't. Oh no, more than one dice. Ha! Never mind.
Yeah, because you did
Yep.
beefy firebolt damage.
Yep. That's it. And I'm gonna step over here.
Okay. Brolin, it's your move as
Blast.
Alexander sidesteps behind you.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
I don't physically see zombies. Will I have to?
You know they're
You-
coming. You understand the
There we go.
situation.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, Alexandria thought about sidestepping around you and decided to go around other people. It's 5,
I'd
so
rather-
25.
I'd rather
Yeah,
go
you may.
for twice the amount of people.
Should have brought up Papa. Oh well.
Yeah, this one is weakened as flames sort of trickling across it after Alexandria's assault. One has had its head blown off. It's no longer chained by the neck because there's nothing keeping it there. And it is on the ground. There's one that hasn't been touched in the back.
Let me look. Let me see. I might cast a spell. Since these are just weak undead. Just gotta see the spell.
Plus, you
15.
probably don't want to step into the room.
I'm just trying to see how much
Or you'll be going
damage it
after.
does.
After the zombos.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna cast. So 5, 10, 15. Yeah. I'm gonna step here and I'm gonna cast Thunderbolt or Thunderwave.
Thunderwave. Oh, that is the 3x3 in front of you. Yeah. That's how that works?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You let loose a wave of thunder down the corridor bottleneck of this chamber. Needs to make a Constitution save, which it fails. Takes 10 thunder. It needs to make a save for its undead fortitude, which will be a 15. It does not make it. You kill it. Immediately, and its bones shatter. Effectively, you can just see the flesh rip apart, some of the bones break, and it just frailly falls to pieces in the wake of your magic and Alexandria's combined.
Brolin just claps.
You have a movement and bonus action.
Gonna move out of the way.
Okay.
All right, next.
All right, you hear the rattling of chains as the zombie clatters forward right after you, Brolin, and goes to bite into that meat.
16 armor.
19
Ow!
for 4. You take 4 points of damage as it starts to like rip into you, starving for whatever meat it can possibly get, and you are living flesh. So go ahead and apply 4 points of damage to your token, and that is its action and its movement.
Oh no! 4 points of damage.
War, it's your turn.
First smack. I am not raging on this one.
Okay.
Hold on. Huh. You can reckless attack without raging. I
Nice.
just had to reread it.
Very
All
nice.
right, I'll do that. Oh, good thing I did.
21 damage. 20 points of damage. That includes the
Yep.
everything dueling style. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you bloody it. You immediately carve a huge axe into its back, and it's just like lets out a horrible undead shriek. You have another attack
Second verse.
that hits. Total of 20 points of damage. You cannot
Well,
feasibly save from a DC 25, so it dies.
nice.
You finish it off. Its bite unhinges from Brolin's shoulder. And it got that last taste of dwarf flesh before it met the end of its undeath.
How
threat
solid is
is
this railing, by the way?
Pretty solid. It's made of what looks to be like a painted stone.
I lift up on the I push up on the railing to see if it moves at all.
Make a strength check.
I do not have very good strength, but
Doesn't budge.
okay. I walk over to this zombie and tie its chain to the railing. Taut.
If we can, we should run it through the door, not under the door, though.
Which side? So it has a sort of a like a metal clasp around its neck, and the chain runs up and into the ceiling behind it. So which side of the chain are you tying? I believe you would need a loose side, I think.
Zombie
From
collar side.
from here, it does have
Zombie
about
collar side.
zombie colors. Oh, zombie collar side. Are you ripping it off, kind of thing?
Yeah, and then attaching it to the railing.
Oh,
Like
okay.
not with the collar, but
Easy.
wrapping it around the railing
Yeah.
multiple times.
Yeah, taking the chain off of the dead bodies. You can do that with this one that's out here. Does anybody go inside to grab the other chains, or they just drag them? You can get to those chains.
Yeah, well, we should drag them through the door so that even if it does go down, we still have a chain that we can grab.
Yeah.
Without,
Oh, yeah. I just
it
wanted
getting pinned.
one on this side because this is a self-tightening chain if it falls.
Right,
You can drag these other ones over. Their chains are well. This one would stay because its chain got blown off its head, literally. Blown off.
Well, the rest of the chains we can attach in there.
Yeah.
I just wanted at least one
Yeah.
chain on the outside.
Perfect.
There we go.
So we're not pulling
Alright.
this zombie forward. The zombie stays where he died. Okay.
Want to check for traps real quick? Other than the door?
Okay. I will look for traps. Falcon probably should do it too.
Do we need this anymore?
I don't
Oh,
think
no.
so. You should
mean,
keep
I
the mirror
guess-
though. It's very nice.
I mean, I
It
could
is fine.
cast the search for traps spell again, but I don't know how useful that will be.
Gonna jog over.
It's
After
very
putting
useful in
my-
the other room.
It was.
But do you want to spend the spell slot?
Nah. I got a red mark on my shoulder now. He tried to bite me. It's itchy.
Yeah, it itches.
What are we doing in here? I didn't see. What
We're looking for traps so we can go into the room, maybe.
you want me to look, or
Yeah, you're better at it than me.
you want to scoot behind Brolin there, and I can take your place?
There's a zombie there, just as a warning.
Yeah,
No,
you don't
no.
have to worry about sharing spaces. You were not in combat, so you're fine.
As long as he's dead.
Yep, they are. They're dead.
That one even has
So-
scorch marks.
Real
I would like to. I'd like to check for traps.
Yeah, from right here, go for it.
Let's peer into the room.
Peer into the room. A 24 perception check. The only thing that you can see as any visible sign of a trap. Let me see what your vision is in this moment. Things of note. There are chains, obviously, attached to the ceiling right in front of you that come to the door. That does give some semblance of a mechanism, not so much a trap. The chariot in front of you does not seem to give off nothing that you can see upon it that would tell you. No tripwires, no gears, no levers, nothing seeming mechanical or odd about it. Just stirring it up. You would note the shield in the back, the statues as well to either side of it. Neither show any kind of I'm mentioning the things that you are seeing, that you're able to look at, and points of interest. None of those seem to immediately jump out as some kind of mechanical thing. And you are looking, those eyes are pierced, you're searching for buttons, wires, gears, any imprints in the walls, any kind of like anything, any secret door, that kind of situation. Trap pits on the floor, you're searching it meticulously. You would see what looks to be one of those jars in the back, those glass jars filled with bones. That's odd. Worth noting, nothing screaming to you like mechanical trap in front of you.
Okay. So the floor in front of us is good.
The floor in front of you, you don't see anything that is going to like drop in. You do not see any holes in the walls. There's nothing that like smoke could come out of. There's nothing on the ceiling that would fall down on you. Nothing you can see would tell you that there's a mechanical trap around you.
Okay. So she'll step in 5, 10,
Yep.
15 feet.
So to move
Can
the
I-
chain out of the
can
way.
Peer her head around the corner and just kind of scan, like, and maybe in the back corner over there.
Yeah, you see that this room is sort of lined with these similar glass, sort of large glass vases, or let me get their actual name. I said they were something else. Not vases. They are cauldrons. Cauldron is what you said. And yeah, they're glass, they're see-through, they're filled with bones, and there's sort of bones all around them, littering the edge of the room. And there's 6 of them, 3 on either side. Yeah.
That shield. Why is it placed like that? Just kind of look. How far down does the shield come off the wall? Is the ceiling like super high, or is it
The
same
ceiling's
as
12 feet.
everywhere else? Okay.
The shield, now it may not mention how high it is on the wall. But it does hang from the wall on leather straps.
Pretty common way to display a shield.
Yep. I would say it's probably 5, maybe 3 or 4 feet off the ground. Sort of centered.
Looking at the floor in front of the chariot, do the tires, the wheels, do they
wheels.
have any kind of grooves in the floor? Has it moved recently?
Not that you can see. No, it does not look as though it has moved. No dust disturbance, nothing like that. Alexandria, when you enter in, a voice enters your head, the similar voice of Ubalaka. You hear him as you sort of scan the room and you see these cauldrons. He says,
"Beware the cauldrons. They contain the bones of Papa Zottle's most zealous devotees, who even in death may seek to protect him."
What'd you say? Alexandria? Nothing.
Can I ask the Loa if Moa if she got along with Papa Zottle?
Yeah, you may ask her. Let me see here. Yeah, I should say. Let me actually look up the thing really quick and just make sure I'm getting this right. 'Cause I want it to be canonical. Yeah, you hear the sort of the echo of Moa. It says, "Papa Zottle is my friend. They are shrewd, conniving sometimes, but for the most part, their spirit is in the right place."
All right. Well, I don't know. Moa says that it's Papa Zottle's on a good side. I don't know about the bear though.
Moa Ubalaka. I would guess Papa Zottle and Shagambi would be on the same sides, based on the story.
Yeah, this would be a good one to get then.
Oh,
Besides,
instantly, it's the ones that are friends with your imaginary friend are the good ones.
Brolin will tap uh, we'll tap Professor Whifflespark on the shoulder. Hey, you could get one of those magic items too. They're pretty powerful. And you get a talking buddy. That's the best kind.
As far as I can tell, only you get a talking buddy.
I imagine some of us are in more dire a need for someone to talk to than others.
Yeah, no kidding.
Moa is the one that talks the most.
Such a good companion for Berlin. Though I suppose I would turn inward and ask, how do you relate to this one? Friend, enemy, frenemy.
Yeah, I think he looks to say,
Not enemy, but do
Sing
not
acquaintance.
trust.
Well, that's pretty thematic for you.
Many do not trust. Smarter that way.
I will step into the room.
okay.
I'll follow. Right next to her.
Now you guys enter into the chamber and sort of get the feel of the space around you. Many bones
one?
litter the floor.
Which statue is the one with no face?
This one.
Was there a painting?
There was not.
There was not, because I was on the wrong layer.
There we go. Oh, so that with the rib cage. The one with the rib cage next to it.
I guess I'll meander over that way,
Okay.
and I'm going to bow to it.
All right. Do you curtsy? Do you do a full thing? Like, what does this look like?
I mean, she doesn't have a dress, so she will just imitate a deep and humble bow.
Okay, you bow low, humble. When you raise back up, nothing seems different.
Nice. Well, that breaks that theory.
Out to no one. Whether it has a face or not, it might be someone.
Yeah, but vagaries are kind of the theme when warning people about traps. Figured that would be a good guess.
Did it say bow to no one?
Underneath this shield in the back. So War wants to look around and see if there are any like depictions of somebody bowing in here.
Depictions. Yes.
Yeah, wall things.
Let's see if it detailed that there was anything on the walls themselves. I don't believe the walls held any great detail outside of what the walls in this level portray, which I believe are mocking devil faces, and they're graven into the walls. The air will always reek of rotting flesh on this level as well. But for this, no illustrations on the walls of any kind or depictions of words. Though there are some words in front of you, War, on the shield itself, the inscription that you're unable to read. It says on the shield, in common, bow before no one. I believe that actually went through in the description.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
The only other thing are the illustrations and the paintings on the chariot's body, showing the tall bird and the sharp beak. There are no other words or illustrations that you can see plainly.
For no one, do all of us need to exit the room one at a time? Maybe someone alone in here bows to the faceless statue, or...
Yeah, upon stepping in this room, what is everybody doing? I'd love to just hear from everybody on their sort of action entering into the room. Let's start with Brolin.
All right, how about this? I'll do it. It's about a no one, right?
Yeah, we have had Alexandria come in and sort of do a thing. I want to kind of go around and see if anybody else wants to poke.
Poke and prod.
Oh.
And which statue doesn't have a face?
Yeah, you did see Alexandria bow to
Alexandria
the
already did
one
that.
all the way on the end.
I see what you're trying to do.
Trying to do.
What? Actually, now I don't know what you're trying to do. You're moving very weirdly. What are you doing?
What do you want from me? What?
Brolin's sort of just like moving across the floor in some odd pattern.
Roland is looking for every pressure plate in the room.
Yeah, he's searching with his body.
Oh my god.
Are you bowing there, Brolin? Do you actually go and do that? Yeah, you just see this. It's got like a broken face. The pieces are probably somewhere strewn on the floor amongst the bones.
And the one with the missing face doesn't have a weapon at all.
No.
And the spears are probably either side of the shield, or
Yep. And the sword is on the opposite side of the broken face.
did the broken face look like it had a weapon of some sort?
It does look as though it like had a hand out, like that would be holding it, but there's nothing there.
Okay.
Yeah, Berwin, to finish your thing before I go around and poke everybody, you came in, you sort of shuffled around. Are you just staring at the statue?
Yeah. So it's like bow to no one. I like that idea. Does it look like it's like age damage, or does it look like it's always been like that?
Probably looks like it took a hit at some point and this like chipped off.
And as we said, Alexandria literally bowed to that statue already.
She did. You did watch her bow to it.
Could try bowing to the shield, since that's nothing.
Yeah, it gives it a
My
try.
next thought, I wonder if there's something behind it, though.
You
Bow-
bow. You bow to the
yeah.
shield, Brolin?
Brolin will bow to the
What's your
shield.
bow look like?
It's a little fancy, like a little twirl of the arm, and then
Twirl the arm, bring it down, just like the Chelton nobles.
yeah.
I like it. Yeah, you lift your head and nothing seems any different.
All right.
Whifflespark. Then I'll go to Valfine.
I am looking at the walls as I'm wandering around the room.
Okay,
Sorry,
make
you're behind me.
Then make a quick perception check. If you were just scanning the walls as you make your way around, if you're looking at them directly, you could do investigation too if you're interacting with them.
I'm not going to be interacting with them, but I am doing my generic thing of, I do in every tomb of look for the fake door.
Yeah, close
Or
inspection.
the real, yeah.
Close inspection. Cool. Yeah, you're scanning around the room. Perfect. Valfine.
I think she's gonna work inward and circle the chariot and just kind of look around the sarcophagus, the way it's set in the wagon or the chariot. Is there anything notable about the chariot itself, or is it pretty plain? Or it doesn't say anything in the description about the chariot itself.
Yeah, you
there.
wouldn't have to like roll to see some of the things on the chariot. Let me see here.
Trinkets or something
Yeah,
lining
because I
the
believe
side.
it did say there's treasure strewn atop the sarcophagus.
Okay, the sarcophagus.
So yeah, there would be. Yeah, you see a golden torque, 3 gold cups, 5 gold what looks to be cloak pins, a very fine amulet, the red gem in it, and yeah, seems to be all kinds of stuff on top of it.
Paraphernalia. Nothing stands out. It's just a pile of belongings or offerings or
It just
whatever.
seems like offerings kind of thing, like put out, displayed, much like a king, like here's all my stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Behold my stuff.
On top of that,
It
there's
is
like probably a strewn of like coins.
Bow to no one. Bow to no one. Bow to no one.
Yeah, as you repeat that to yourself,
Hmm.
or what are you doing?
The shield has a image of a Chilton warrior on it.
Looks to be. Yeah, I'm just looking for a simple, quick action. So I got everybody doing something in here.
Before he rolls
gonna-
initiative.
It's gonna take a look actually at that
Just get
chariot.
everybody involved.
It had pictures of the bird on it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're just sort of looking those up and down close.
Yeah, trying to see if
Yeah.
maybe one of them could be interpreted as bowing or something. And
I mean, there's
if there's something-
definitely like some bowing happening, but it's not by like one individual. You would see sort of
Right.
the glorious pictures of this beautiful episodal, and it's just it's sort of got the one leg sort of creened up. These things are effectively flamingos. Let's just be honest. And there's just the like the illustrations of like scores of dutiful followers that are just bowing to the greatness of this creature.
How are they bowing?
They're just like on their knees, like, oh, like praise be, all the way to the ground, their hands going.
Well then, I think we should do that.
Worth a try.
Brolin, prostrate yourself.
What?
Prostrate yourself before the faceless statue. Or to the throne or tomb,
Are there any before I do that? Are there any depictions of people bowing in this room?
The only ones I mentioned, it was in the illustrations that are on the chariot of the episodal.
Oh. Well, hold
Or
on.
Eblis is what it's called. I'm mixing the name. Yep.
Papazotl is the
Papazotl is an Eblis.
name. Yep.
Okay. Well, all right. I'll prostrate myself again to
Yeah. What do you
the statue.
to the statue?
We are the worms.
Yeah, you lower yourself. We are worms situation. You bring yourself all the way to the ground. You feel the sort of cold stone. The bones are on the ground near you. You kind of scuff them out of the way because it's not looking. It's looking great. You can smell the rot on them. You sort of push them over. Bow all the way down in front of it. You lift your head. Get back on one knee, and a lot of good that did. You don't feel any different.
I don't feel any different, but I think I got an idea. If you're willing to hear it.
Let's
Where?
hear it.
Okay. What direction are those pictures bowing?
Direction that those pictures are bowing. They look like there's no, I think, direction. It's almost sort of illustrated that they're just sort of all around Papazotl.
All right. Well, listen. The depictions on the chariot, they're bowing, right? Maybe it has something to do with this.
But Papazotl is someone. A great someone, apparently.
Well, let's not forget this tomb was not built by these gods. It was built to imprison them, so it could be a mockery. So bowing to this god as it is no one anymore.
I look for chunks of face.
Yeah,
But it-
you can make a perception check. By the way, your investigation on the walls did not show anything.
Oh
note.
yeah, I know that.
It's a beautiful number we all love and know.
Yep. So I'm gonna make an investigation check on stuff around the statue.
Sure.
Looking for bits of face to see what face this one had.
Can't find any. Just a lot of bones.
Does the shield on the wall seem like it could be removed?
Yeah.
A Velphine.
Yeah.
You want to check the shield for traps to see if it could be removed?
That's probably a good idea.
So it's gonna be like that part at the beginning of the tomb.
Like go into a door chamber of some kind, maybe. So she'll, without touching it, of course, just kind of scan maybe behind it, up around the borders, take a look at the way it's hung from the wall. Does anything look?
You can roll, but yeah, make a roll. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see what you see. This is investigation. Perception works
Or-
too. Perception works too.
Mhm.
It seems to be a bronze shield hanging on the wall. You don't see anything hidden about it. No. Not that you can see with your eyes. Not from here. Maybe on the back of it. You're not sure. Places you can't see.
Well, without touching it, I don't see anything dangerous, but
Want to take a couple steps back? I'm gonna try lifting it up and flipping it over to see if there's anything on the back.
You touch the
be
shield,
my
War?
guest.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you grip your sort of reptile hands on the edge of the shield, and as you lift it from the wall, you can hear the metal just sort of scrape gently against the stone. It is bronze, and it's heavy.
So he'll, if he's got it free, he'll,
Yeah, you can. If you can, you
Alright.
can get the whole thing in your hand and get those leather straps to be loose.
yeah, he'll try to turn it around and then look at also what it was hanging on and see if he could hang it the other direction.
Yeah, it looks to be on some like hooks or something like that. Yeah, you want to take it off and turn it around, hook it the other way, and inspect the back. Is that what we're
Yeah.
going on here?
Yep.
Turn it around to face the wall. You look at the back, and it does have those sort of places where you would put like the straps or whatever, but only the sort of only the metal is there. There's no actual like straps in there to like put your arm on. Other than that is plain bronze, not very decorated in here, not as grand on this side.
Well,
Seems to be a
now that
solid
it's-
brass.
Now that it's the other way, he's gonna try bowing to the shield, and he's gonna do it like the Eblis 1 foot thing, and try to. bow that
Okay,
way.
yeah. Make a performance check for me, War.
Oh no! Got this, buddy. I believe in you.
Performance.
There's a part of me that thinks we already disabled all the traps in this room by doing something, and Ed is just laughing at us on the inside.
13. Yeah, you do a pretty good job of mimicking the illustrations you saw. You put the 1 foot up, you bow in the best way you can, balancing on the 1 foot. There's a little bit of a shake, but you get it through. When you lift your head up, put your other foot down. The same turtle you were before. Nothing seems to have changed.
Bow before no one. Is this the reverse of blinding those other statues at the beginning of the tomb? Do we have to blindfold one of us to bow? I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing now, but
I guess as I'm getting up, I bow to the statue just because I haven't bowed yet.
Okay. How are you bowing? It's
feel
important.
included.
It's important because we're bowing in different ways right now.
He does the a very like gentleman with the hand back type classic
Yeah, you lift your
Victorian
head.
bow.
You lift your head, and after you do your classic Victorian bow, and your back aches a little bit, getting old.
Yeah. Guess I look at this big glass thing full of bird follower bones.
Yeah. It's a glass see-through cauldron. You can see it's just packed with bones. You can see a few skulls, rib cages, all kinds of different pieces. They're so like formed together, it's hard to make any sort of up or down of if any of the pieces inside belong together or are actually of one piece or of many, and they're just sort of packed in there all the way to the brim. They're filled with bones.
Well, do we want to just try and open the coffin, or do we want to do something else?
Victor, do you have any thoughts on bowing to no one in here?
Bowing to no one. It seems as though it is a riddle, like many things that are in this place. Have we tried bowing to dead air, or, I like what Alexandria said. Bowing to Papazotl. If this individual, as far as the paintings tell, was of a noble nature, it would be insulting to consider it nothing at all. It is mindful to remember that the things in here do not belong to anything other than the undying, as it were.
And on that note, I suppose I'm going to try the two different bows. One for the worshippers on their knees, and then the other imitating the Iblis.
Yep. You prostrate yourself as a devout worshipper, and then you bow elegantly, just as Papazotl might. And both seem to just be nothing special. You are bowing, getting some exercise at this point.
Yoga.
Oh,
Stretches in.
I think
Well,
we've tried pretty much everything here.
The only couple things we haven't tried are tipping a cauldron and opening the sarcophagus.
At this point, I personally feel like we might have already solved the thing, and it was because nothing has attacked us in here.
One last thing.
It
One last
probably won't attack until we try to open it.
thing. I will do one last thing. I go back to the statue. This statue in particular, not the one with the broken. Can I turn the statue?
Oh, this one right in front of you. This is one of the spear wielders. You want to try to turn it, like grab it by its legs and
Yeah, can
get
it
in turn?
Can it move? Can
It
it
is.
move?
It is solid. It is a pedestal built into the stone
That
of
is
the
a
floor.
good thought, though, Brolin.
It was a good thought. Yeah, you go to turn it. It's solid. You think maybe
we
with
know
some, you could probably break it down if you really went
What
at
about
it.
the one? What about the one without a face?
You want to do the same thing? Try and like turn
yeah.
it. It's as solid as the other one, and sort of looking over to it, it looks to be like it's mortared to the floor.
Okay. All right, I tried.
Well, there's the other
Zarl
option.
also was a fan of tricking people. Just as a heads up.
We could always wheel the chariot out of the room.
We could we could move the chariot over by the faceless statue.
Would the chariot fit out the front door?
Yeah, it would. The only problem is once it got to the balcony, it couldn't go much further without being just sort of pushed over the side and falling many tens of feet down to the level below.
Levels below.
Many,
It's
yeah,
like-
a few levels
It's a
below.
long way down.
It's a long way down. To note, the sarcophagus and the chariot and the treasures. I mean, it'd be quite a feat to like get it up to it and lift it over. Even with those wheels, it might take a few of you to like get it over. If that was a plan to like jump it, like push it off. But like it does have wheels, it should be like pushable. But it does look like a big old heavy cart.
Feel like we should just open the sarcophagus at this point.
Mhm. Also an option. I think as Wifflespark says that, I will step back about 5 feet and knock an arrow.
Okay.
And hold an attack for...
I will investigate the sarcophagus to make sure there isn't any little triggers or something.
Okay. So just looking at it.
Like I'm actually like getting out of the chariot. And
So getting on to like really check it. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your fingers down the edge. Yeah.
So yeah, Wiffle Spark, you hoist your pants, get a. I mean, you're short, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 9 investigation. Great. Yep. You go to climb up there. You gotta kind of put one hand on it. Takes a little bit. No one has to give you a boost. But you think about calling Fenrir, but you got this. And you lift yourself up to the sort of chariot level and start sort of looking over this sarcophagus itself, and maybe think about how to climb up to that next tier above where the treasures sit. As you step up there, you climb up there and you start to eyeball that. Everybody's sort of looking at Wiffle Spark. A hiss becomes very audible in the room. As you look around, you see that each of these cauldrons, packed full of bones, seem to have a glow about them that grows and grows. You see a green glow come from between the cracks of the bones, and as it travels from the bottom all the way to the top, almost quite instantaneously, it hits the top of the cauldrons, and the bones begin to churn. As they do, smoke begins to funnel out of each of these cauldrons, and they curve and arch and sort of clash with the ground. And as they do, each pillar of smoke, as it dissipates, sort of filling the ground with a little bit of green smoke around it, you see the form of a skeleton. And that happens on all of them, and there are 2 from each. 12 skeletons immediately clamor into existence around you. And as they do, some of them draw back their bows, some of them already have their arrows notched in them. The others, their swords already unsheathed and shields at their sides. And they immediately look all their skeletal faces towards the group of you, and they attack. It is 9:45. Do we want to call it there, or do we want to start this battle?
This 12 skeletons could take a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you guys
I'm
think?
good either way.
You're good either way.
I have no objections. I'm good to go.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm good too.
All right, that's enough votes to go. Let's just play till 10. Let's start this fight. We'll be able to come back to it easily enough, and I will change the music.
He touched the butt.
They hate it when you touch the butt.
They do.
As they're starting to form up,
Happens almost instantaneously, but if there's something that you wanted to do, what was it?
yeah, she's gonna take her hand out in front of her, like she's holding her palm out, and then she's gonna slam her fist into it and go, "Ah, right, I forgot to mention, this was going to happen."
All right, yeah, and that's the top of initiative with that. So everybody go ahead and roll. I'm gonna make like a core because a lot of these guys are gonna fly around. I'm gonna put him there and just use him for initiative.
Oh no.
Do I get an advantage on my initiative roll because I knew this was gonna happen?
You know what? Yeah, you do.
Do I get to fire off my held arrow?
You will get to fire your held arrow. That'll be
Sweet.
the first action, but first let's see what. Okay, so so it's a 10. I'll just make it a 10 for you.
I'll take it.
Skeletons rolled 7. That's good shit. No victor for this fight? Yes or no?
Fuck him.
Okay, no victor.
Action economy.
But Valfine, I do need you here for the fight, so later if you need to.
What was the? We had one vote. Yes, it sounds like one vote. No. How are we on victor?
No victor.
No victor. 2 votes. No.
I'll
Okay.
know Victor.
No. Okay. No victor. Okay. Wiffle Spark, you're top of the round. What are you doing?
I will guess shoot this guy.
Okay.
Actually, sorry, this guy.
Okay. I should get the skeleton sheet up, shouldn't I? Yeah, I should. There we go.
Maybe.
Okay,
Probably good at.
that hits. Yeah. Yeah. Let me turn up here. You blast at it. Another, very similar to the situation that was just a minute ago. You immediately strike that damage, crippling a good portion of that skeleton. You see pieces of it sort of shatter and join the bones in the floor. I believe you have a second attack, if I'm not wrong.
I will attack with the second shot.
Okay.
The 2-shot pistol.
All right, that hits. Who is that going to? Same one? Okay. Yep. That one is destroyed. It clambers to the ground. No longer animated.
And Fenrir will charge the next one over there. And
Okay. He can
Is-
he can reach, correct? Just confirming 25.
Yeah. He has like 40.
Yep.
They should be able to go anywhere in this room. And
Does
I
Fenrir
will
need an
pist-
initiative, or he just goes with you?
He goes after me.
He goes after you? Okay. I'm just going to roll him under the initiative thing. And we'll just put him under you. Technically, he would go under you.
And then
Hello.
I will force power rend. That is what his attack is called.
An 11
Or ele-
will not break past its sort of ethereal, undead, ghostly armor.
Okay.
Can you hear us now, Dustin?
Yes, sorry
Perfect.
about that. My mic died.
Just make sure. And that's everything for your turn, Wiffle Spark. You still have movement. Still have a bonus action.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay up on the chariot.
Okay. Do you want to attempt to climb to the rest of the way up the chariot?
Yeah, sure. Sure, I'll do that.
Half movement speed. There's plenty of handholds. You can place yourself on any of the squares around here and consider yourself at the top if you want to stay in the same one you're at.
This one's fine.
Okay, Valfing. You got to get a reaction, so do that first, and then you take your turn.
Okay. I was facing toward Wiffle Spark, so I guess I'd fire it off at this guy.
Okay. Yeah, let's get your reaction out of the way. I almost forgot it.
Take that roll. Kaboom.
That
15.
hits. It's a normal hit.
Ciao.
No sneak.
Yeah, normal hit. No sneak.
It is
So
immediately
9.
bloodied as parts of its bones are rattled by your strike.
Okay. I'll scoot forward 10 feet. Kind of
Okay.
converge on Alexandria here, or 15 feet. And then I'll, for my actual action, I'll
Yes.
fire again. The same.
Same one? Alright, go for it. That hits.
13. Oh, good. Still does. 9 more.
You shatter it. Another dead. Ain't much beef to these guys.
Good.
Okay.
Well, that went swimmingly, and that's the end of my turn.
War.
All right. Let's see. I am gonna go here, and I am gonna attack the one northwest of me.
Okay.
Bonus action rage.
Bonus action rage indeed. That sounds good.
There's a condition for that now. Where it at? Okay, I'll get that in a sec.
What are you getting?
Just the rage icon. I don't know.
Oh, I got you.
Okay.
No worries. Ah!
And I'm gonna reckless attack.
This top one right here?
Yep.
That hits?
Pretty.
Oh my god.
So,
Yeah,
That one's
21.
probably
you
dead.
send it clamoring to its doom. It is in pieces.
wasn't expecting to just outright kill it. All right.
Yeah,
well,
you just,
I'll
I mean,
one
full
bullet
force.
With the next one then. Let's see. 24.
24, that hits.
Another 21 damage.
This one here?
Yep.
Yeah, you just back and forth. Just hit both. They shatter on either side.
Puny bones.
Puny bones. All right.
Well, I'm gonna move to back to there. Well, there.
Okay. It is Alexandria's turn.
All right, I'm gonna throw a fireball in the upper right corner so that it hits all the skeletons and their bosses.
Okay, let's do the map for that so I know everything that it's hitting, and that is a 8x8 if I remember correctly. So boop, boop, 4. So this is just half of it effectively. Oh, it's on my secret layer. Perfect. That's where I wanted it. This is half of it. Were you going for one part of the wall situation? Was that what you were doing? You set upper corners.
The right side.
So like here? Do you want to avoid Brolin?
Yeah.
Okay.
The long pause.
That was a long pause.
So all of this is the situation, right?
I mean, I could get the whole one side of the room.
You could get one more skeleton and Brolin.
If I dropped it down one more, would then I wouldn't get. Okay.
This would also be overlapping the cauldron. You mentioned those before.
Would it be also overlapping the lower cauldron?
It would be over this way. It would be overlapping all 3 cauldrons if it was right here.
Okay. Yes, I'm doing this.
Okay.
You're gonna hit.
Oh, it's
You're gonna
way
hit.
bigger than that.
You're gonna hit Brolin.
Fireball is way bigger than this.
Oh no. Oh, never mind. That's
It's
right.
half of
No,
a fireball.
I was doing math wrong. We're good.
Yeah, we're good. Okay.
Sorry, Brolin.
Alright, Brolin, give me that dexterity saving throw. Don't worry, it's really easy to pass.
Go ahead and roll the damage for that really quick for me. Let me just confirm something.
Oh, this is a weaker fireball.
Nice.
Oh, that was 3 1s in that. Yeah, and 2. Well, 1, 2.
All right.
Yeah, this is a super weak fireball.
Yep, go ahead and spend the spell slot. Yeah, it looks like you made the save there. It doesn't matter if I make saves for my skeletons in this situation. They would die no matter what. So what actually happens is this blast radiates off the side of this wall, and it's your fire's purple, right, Alexandria?
Yeah, it's a ephemeral purple light that is... If you imagine the fire to be the purple and any smoke to be a void-like darkness.
Okay, I love it. I'm curious as to rules of objects versus a dexterity saving throw. I know they would immediately fail, but is there? I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. I know this is like obscure rules, but it is important to what it is. I just want to make sure they don't. Only a threshold can reduce damage, right? They would take, if it doesn't have any kind of threshold, it would take the full amount of that damage. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah, because we thresholded the tubes earlier in the golem, and it still
Objects and
was able
damage
to recover.
types. Yep. Okay. Damage threshold. Yeah, it should just work like that. Shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, as long as it's a type of damage that can damage the object.
Does Fireball note anywhere in it that it doesn't damage objects? I believe it does. It says objects not worn. Correct?
Oh no, I was saying
it
more of
says-
does fire damage what they're made of?
Yeah. Vulnerabilities or resistances would are into play here. I'm wondering, does the spell specify its damage to objects? Because I believe Fireball says
It
it
ignites
does.
flammable things.
It will ignite anything flammable that isn't worn or carried.
I would assume that means it would damage objects. That makes sense to me. Perfect. That explosion goes off, and after it goes through, and the dust settles, all 3 cauldrons on that side are split open, the glass shattered, the bones riddle over the ground, and the green sort of smoke area is sort of spilled out onto the floor, whatever green liquid, and it dissipates the minute it hits the floor and becomes utterly mundane. That entire side is obliterated, other than the one skeleton.
I hope my offering was sufficient.
Yeah, I love it.
How much damage do I take?
You saved, so you take 13 points of fire damage. Note any sort of resistances to fire you might have. If you do. Yeah, massive damage. You scream out.
Oh, Brolin, that was a weaker blast. But I do apologize. Looks like I got the math wrong on that one.
You do have a bonus action and a possible bonus action in your movement if you'd like, Alexandria.
Yeah, I'll step over here because the smell of burning dwarf is rather rank. I'm not a fan.
Okay.
You realize there are skeletons that way.
Yeah, no, I'm owning it.
Okay.
So she takes a step that way, sees that there's skeletons, and then goes, 5, 10, 15, 20. All right.
Move yourself to the other side. All right. So, as we do the skeleton's turn, the smoke billows up and arcs down to form more skeletons. Each cauldron pops out a new boy.
Well, guess you had the right idea there.
Yep.
Listen, I'll fix this problem for us if we need it, but y'all better clear out.
All right.
I think we can fix this problem.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
They are immediately going to... Yeah, they're going to assault Fenrir, I think. He's attacking over there.
At least everything in this room isn't immune to fire damage like last time.
Alright. I just wanted to get them in the
that
right
was
movements if they
room
were.
for you.
This one's yours.
Alright, let's do my skeletal turn here. My skellies. Where is
He's
my...
gonna play with himself for a minute.
Yeah, I am. Once I find where I put the skeleton toy. There it is. Alright, so let's start with War. He's got 4 of them. Short swords all around. What's your armor class?
20?
20. Miss! 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 Another miss. They strike at you, none of them able to get through the beefy armor that is War. The 2 near Fenrir.
15, by the way.
Miss! Another miss! And the 1 near Brolin. 15. Miss. They all miss. None of them are able to penetrate the expert defense of our tomb delvers. You were ready and prepared for this. It is Brolin's turn, who will have the last turn of the game tonight. What would you like to do, Brolin? You have 1 skeleton in front of you. You were just lit aflame. The cauldron in front of you is bursted along with all the other skeletons and other cauldrons on this side of the room. Alexandria has melted all assault on here, other than one skeleton that she left for you.
Okay. Brolin is going to run all the way over here and summon his raptor.
So we will take 1 attack of opportunity with a skeleton.
No, it was a joke. It was the rat.
Oh.
He's turning into a raptor.
Oh, okay. Cool,
All right, everybody. Good luck.
Yeah, put yourself out there somewhere. Here, we'll just put you in a place you're not gonna actually be. All right, you're a raptor.
All right, let's see, I get 1 bite and 2 claws. I'm gonna do my first bite.
Okay, go for it. That is a hit. 12 piercing. It is... You gnaw into this thing. You go right for the bones. And it feels so natural, too. Just to rip at bone. The feeling of that almost marrow beneath your teeth. Oh, it's not dead yet. But it is barely clinging. Well, it is dead, but you know what I mean.
No.
It defends from your second claw. It strikes away with its sword. It will defend its god, Papazotl. 16 hits. And you end this devout undead. Riddling its bones across the floor. It is defeated. Yeah, you got big old, just maw full of bones. You still have movement.
Oh my, everything's all dark. Oh, well, here, I gotta go in here. I can't see anything.
Yeah, you don't have any sight on that guy. So actually, no, you don't go in here. If he doesn't have dark vision, then those
He does,
attacks...
'cause the dwarf thing carries over.
The dwarf thing carries over. Okay. You're right. You sure? We're sure about that?
Yep.
Well, we
Positive
gotta be.
about that.
Okay, we'll put you under your thing. So you just have to move both tokens.
5, 10.
You can hover, like do a drag over, and you can pull them both.
Eh,
at the same
whatever he
time.
wants to do.
Right there. Gonna run over there. That will end my turn.
Okay, and with that being the end of your turn, I only have one thing to note. War, were you recklessly attacking?
Yeah. Yep.
One
that's
hit
true.
did get through to you. 5 piercing. Luckily, my rolls are always with advantage,
Oh,
or always
okay.
2 rolls, so you did take 5 piercing,
Right.
halved to 2.
Okay.
One of my skeletons did well.
Good call. Good call.
One of my boys.
One boy.
And that is
And
where we...
Mark-
Oh, wait, what's up?
And I marked, so it's a while before we play. I marked those so we remember.
Perfect.
Those
Yeah, I have them. You can actually unmark those for me really quick. I have tokens on my layer marking the stats of those objects, so you're fine. I know they're dead.
Okay.
So I'll actually reveal those, make your lives easier. Just so you know these are dead. So we'll just put those there so you know cauldrons are aced. Perfect. That is where we're going to end our game for the evening as our party fights back a skeleton horde quite effectively, ripping their way through the summoned undead. Very, very good. Thank you guys for the game this evening. I super appreciate it. Y'all are always fun to play with. And thank you, those watching over on YouTube, for hanging out with us as well and keeping up with the campaign. We appreciate you. Big time. All right, that is the whole kit and caboodle. We will be back later in the month with a second episode. You'll see it then. All right, take care. Bye.
Bye.